Okay, so I was gonna go live for this, but it's just a little easier if I um just make a video, and just post it so I can get it on multiple platforms. So, how the Lord showed me that I'm to take chemo and stop chemo. I had this big rejoicing moment where the Neo test came back from Fort Myers, Florida, of all places, over on oh God, what is that called? Royal Palm Drive or whatever. You can't make this stuff up because that's where we're from. With no trace of lymphoma whatsoever. But then the pathology report came back. And there was this minor trace that they couldn't even really determine was lymphoma or not. And it was evident by every other sentence was like redundant. We see it, it's there, but it's not. It's not enough, but it is. Like this long of a paragraph with redundant sentences one after the other. Oxymorons, if you will. If you know what that word means. If you don't, Google it. That's what Google is there for. Oxymoron. It's one word. Oxymoron. Doesn't mean I'm calling somebody a name. So I had to really pray about it. Do I just keep doing the ECAT and stuff and sodium bicarbonate or what? With molasses, right? Because the lymphoma, any kind of cancer, is the smoking gun, and the sodium bicarbonate is the Trojan horse that comes in with the molasses under the guise of the molasses in the warm water, about 120 degrees. And the cancer is like, sugar. And when it goes for the sugar, the baking soda annihilates it, right? Cancer can't live in an alkaline body. And, of course, the ECAT has soursop and several other components that a nurse whose last name was Cassie, or RN, she didn't discover it, but she got it from the Ojibwe people, the Ojibwe tribe, Native American. And she and a team of doctors, Canadian doctors, and it's in all the government websites and everything. And if you look on genuineECAT.com, they have a wonderful, genuineECAT.com. They're wonderful. They have hundreds of testimonies on there. I'm one of them. And I knew between the getting a little too prideful about the whole car thing, when I thought I had the BMW, the Beamer, my pimp mobile, and I hadn't even finished the finalization yet. And the Lord was like, oh, okay then. Nope, you don't get it. I still got a wonderful vehicle. But I didn't get this prestigious one that would give me this high-end reputation. I could have if I would have remained humble about it. But no, it's okay. I know how much they are to fix with parts and stuff. That wasn't the point. It would have just been really fun to have a pimp mobile because I'm ridiculous like that. But I got prideful, and I'm not a prideful person. I come from utter humiliation all my life. And learning to just be humble was like a whole new level of not just being like groveling on my hands and knees with my head down like a dog with a broken spirit and his tail between his legs, begging for love, even if it was a beating, to just being humble. So the Lord said, you're going to humble yourself to me. I have a ministry for you. And you're going to take this particular chemo. As I studied the different ones, the one that I took is very much compatible. It works very complementary with the ECAT. Sorry. This has been a very hard road. And I accepted the call out of obedience. I knew it was going to debilitate me. That stuff is poison. But God said, just let me do what I do. And I will I will uphold you in the palm of my hand. I knew it was going to be horrible. I didn't want to. God knows I didn't want to. I ran from God. I toiled with God. I wrestled with the angel of the Lord until my hip came out of joint. But I had to go to Nineveh and tell them. And so I did. The doctor, the nurses on staff, the people at the different infusion centers, because here's the funny thing, the one that's 7 minutes from us had no openings for the first 3 infusions. I had to go to all these different locations, a couple of them an hour away for a 1-minute shot for my white blood cells. It wasn't even the 5-hour infusion. He had a ministry, and he needed to reach them. And I had to go. And I did. And then when I broke my back again, a couple weeks ago, and the ribs as well, he had a ministry for me there too. And as long as I was obedient, which I was, there was church day and night in that place. 48 hours worth of praising the Lord and trusting God. And even watching this amazing doctor, helping carry chairs in and out while they were moving things around. He said, just because I'm a doctor doesn't mean I have a special status. I work here just like everyone else, and I'm going to help. I've watched God turn this place inside out. Every single one of these hospitals and infusion centers. Toppling over their towers to Babylon. Tearing down their strongholds, tearing down their temples, worshiping Pharmakia and Malak, sacrificing these children, our children. Everybody knows I was a witch now. And I watched God turn these places upside down, inside out. Just out of obedience. But what I've had to endure is the crushing of crushing. I've watched him transform my daughter in a few mere weeks from this child that was afraid to transition into her young adulthood to all of a sudden taking on tasks in the household that she knew wouldn't get done if she didn't. Because I couldn't at the time. She's a warrior and a leader and a compassionate, amazing young woman of God. Our house would be in turmoil if she hadn't stepped up and done what she's done. Dishes, floors, vacuuming, cat litter boxes, feeding me, helping me. God, I don't know what I would do. I'm so proud of her. So while I was in the hospital, I had to miss that one final chemo treatment they wanted to do before the PET scan. Or no, 2, right before it. And so then I had to do it the week after because they couldn't do it in the hospital even though I was upstairs from the 7-minute away one. Right? I would have been there this time. And so I had to wait till the next week. And that set me off a week. And we already have my PET scan scheduled for Tuesday. And you can't have a chemo treatment too soon after your last one. And with the reaction that my body just had, which I'm going to post some pictures in the comments, or maybe even in the post if it'll let me post pictures, still pictures with this video. This young, very new nurse. Now, there's a lot of young nurses out there that are amazing charge nurses. Ashley, which is the same as my other daughter's name, no coincidence there. At the hospital, the overnight charge nurse, she couldn't have been more than 24. She maybe 26 at best. Wow, what a badass. I was like, you're a charge nurse, aren't you? She said, yeah, how could you tell? I said, trust me, my stepdad was a doctor, and he was the president of the board at Lee Memorial for over 20 years, and he was president of the Presidential Board of Doctors of Lee County. Or Tri-County. And I said, he taught me well. I know a young, strong charge nurse when I see one. And, wow, she was amazing. And she was interested in the ECAT and learning more about God and how God uses remedies, because she was just going to start working with apothecary and maybe taking a class on the side. I said, you should. And here's why. And just talk about a ministry. Everyone who came in. So it's funny that God used breaking my back again and some ribs and a couple days stay in the hospital to offset the dates of this chemo, because I was scheduled Monday. They wanted to hurry up and schedule me Monday to get that last one. And I'm like saying, no, I can't do it. With this reaction I'm having, I can't do it. Well, they called me, lo and behold, and they were pretty mad. It's too soon after your last one. We're going to have to cancel it. They had to use a voicemail to tell me. And she said, well, thank you for using St. Luke's. She hung up the phone real quick. I'm like, dang, never seen anybody so mad about not being able to poison somebody one more time. Well, then, yes, I have. My ex. Well, and the one that isn't so much an ex, but the one that's gone, right? Praise the Lord. Well, anyway, so I realized that God had orchestrated all of that. He orchestrated all of that so that I wouldn't have to get that last one. So I go in today. Well, the reason I've been so sick from it this time is because each time it's gotten more intense, the side effects. Well, apparently the buildup caused me to go into some kind of terrible reaction to it. So they had to give me an extremely strong steroid and other medicines, as well as a special nausea medicine. I hadn't eaten in 5 days when I finally forced myself to get a few things down. And just didn't stay down very long. Getting dehydrated, but I used it as a time of fasting. So it was like straight water fast, if I could even get water down, choking water down, and then it would come back up. I was awake for days, so I just had to stay in fasting mode and worship mode and chalk it off to God as a personal time with Him to be absolutely 100% sure that I'm not to carry on with not even the last round of chemo, or any after that, even no matter what the results say. And I believe that the results are going to say that I am 100% healed in the name of Yeshua. So the PET scan is Tuesday. Yeah, the nurse, the little young one today, I felt so bad for her. She was terrible at pick. She couldn't do the pick line for anything. She blew my vein and my arm was all swollen up with fluid under the skin. I'm like, oh my God, if this isn't obvious enough, God has made it effervescently clear that I'm not to get that last one. So here am I, Lord, send me. And I did. And now that season is over. And I believed it. When the PET scan results come back, it usually takes about a week. I believed it. And they're going to come from that Neo place right down there in Fort Myers. It cracks me up. You just can't make this shit up. You just can't make this stuff up, you guys. You know it. I mean, of all places in the massive United States, Fort Myers? Get out of here. You can't make this stuff up. So I believe that they're going to be 100% free and clear, and I'm healed in the name of Yeshua. So believe with me. This is how God made it clear to me. And I look forward to sharing that phone call that I get telling me that I am cancer-free and that God has healed me. Thanks, guys.